I don't know how long I have before they find me. I'm holed up in a cheap motel off a lonely highway, the kind where the neon sign flickers and the walls smell like mildew. My hands are still shaking as I record this. I need to get it out. Need someone to hear what happened at McNeely Pines. If you're listening, don't judge me too harshly. I thought I was doing the right thing, that IT started when the National Park Service gutted my job at the Everglades. Budget cuts, they said. One day, I'm patrolling the swamps. The next, I'm out with barely enough severance to cover rent. I was pissed, yeah, but mostly lost. That's when Bruce called. My old supervisor, a bear of a man, 6'2", built like a lumberjack with a beard you could lose a small dog in. He was loyal, the kind of guy you'd trust with your life. Over coffee, he slid a manila folder across the table and offered me a lifeline. "It's contract work," Bruce said, his voice low. 6 months, maybe more. Wildlife preserve in Northern California. Easy gig, triple the pay you made in the Glades. I asked where exactly, picturing the Bay Area, maybe Golden Gate. But Bruce's eyes darkened. "Location's classified," he said. "Not a park with visitors. You just gotta sign an NDA." I signed. Didn't have much choice. A few days later, I was on a plane to Sacramento, then driving for hours through winding mountain roads. No gas stations, no cell service, just endless pines clawing at the sky. The sun was setting when I reached McNeely Pines Wildlife Preserve. The ranger station was an old timber hunting lodge, 2 stories, with radio antennas sprouting like skeletal fingers. It felt wrong. Took me a while to figure out why. That first night, after I'd showered and settled into my room, I noticed the windows. Every single one was reinforced with thick metal bars. Not the kind you'd expect on a ranger station. The kind you'd see in a prison. Bruce gave me the tour the next day. Just the 2 of us running the whole place. 10,000 acres of dense forest, pines so tall they choked out the sunlight. No roads, no trash, plenty of wildlife. Deer, raccoons, the occasional bear. But the entire preserve was surrounded by a 15-foot chain-link fence topped with razor wire. No one got in or out without federal clearance. Bruce said it was quarantined because of a train derailment 5 years back. Hazardous chemicals spilled across the forest, and the EPA had locked it down for 20 years, maybe longer. Our job was simple. Guard the gate, check the trail cams, patrol the perimeter. The cameras, hundreds of them, watched every inch of that fence, inside and out. If anyone tried to breach it, we'd arrest them on the spot. The government covered lodging, sent groceries every other week. It was a cushy gig, too cushy. I started noticing things. The fence had these faint etchings, like scribbles carved into the metal. I asked Bruce about them. "Company signature," he said. "Special alloy, anti-rust." But it looked like writing, ancient and unreadable. Every night I'd upload trail cam footage to a clunky government computer. Most of it was just branches swaying or squirrels darting by. But the wildlife, it was thriving despite the supposed toxic spill. Deer looked normal, moved normal. Miracle, anything's alive in there. I told Bruce one night over whiskey, the lodge's fireplace crackling. He just shrugged. "Life's resilient," he said, "no matter what we put it through." The EPA teams came every week. Black SUVs, half a dozen folks in white hazmat suits, carrying equipment boxes. They barely spoke. Running tests. One muttered once, the longest sentence I ever got out of them. They'd disappear into the forest for hours, sometimes a whole day. Bruce and I never went with them. "They can handle themselves," he said when I asked about protection. But I noticed we never wore masks, even on long patrols. The spill was far in the interior, Bruce assured me. "Nothing dangerous out here." Then I saw it. One day, as the EPA team loaded up to leave, a syrupy red liquid leaked from one of their boxes. It looked like blood. I almost said something, but they scrambled into their SUVs and peeled out. That night, I brought it up with Bruce. "Has to be blood," I said. "Are they killing animals in there?" He set his whiskey down hard. "Don't dwell on it," he snapped, his voice colder than I'd ever heard. "Our check's clear. That's what matters." That was the first crack in the facade. Bruce, my brother-in-arms, was hiding something. I started digging. The comms room had archives of trail cam footage going back years. I found the oldest files from when the quarantine began. No train wreck, no fire. but there were people, human figures staggering out of the forest at night. Bruised, bloody, dazed. First a couple, then a dozen, then more. They moved like they were sleepwalking, their eyes hollowed. I was reviewing those files when Bruce walked in. "What are you doing?" he asked, his voice sharp. I lied, said I was checking last night's footage. He didn't buy it. I could tell. His eyes lingered on the screen as I logged off. I planned to confront him later, after he'd had a few drinks. Maybe then he'd talk. But that night, something else happened. I was on evening patrol, driving the service road along the fence. The forest was cloaked in a strange half-light. Not quite day, not quite night. The air felt heavy, like I was underwater. Then I heard it. A voice, faint but desperate. "Help!" I stopped the ATV, grabbed my spotlight. "Who's there?" I called. The voice came again, from inside the fence. "Help, please!" I swung the light and saw him. A man, mid-40s, skeletal, his ragged clothes hanging off an emaciated frame. His skin was so pale it almost glowed. He stumbled toward the fence, eyes wide with terror. "They're keeping us," he whispered. "We can't leave. The demons, they're horrible." My hand went to my taser. He looked like a meth addict, unpredictable. "How'd you get in there?" I asked. "This forest is restricted." He pressed against the fence, drool spilling from his lips. "The demons in white," he said. "They won't let us go." I radioed Bruce. "There's a man inside the fence at mile marker 12. Says he's a prisoner. Looks off." "Bruce, urgent. Keep him there, but don't engage. Don't talk to him. Don't even look at him." "I'm coming." The man was frantic now, clawing at the fence. "Don't let him come. He'll kill us." I tried to calm him, asked his name. "They don't give us names," he said. "Only numbers." Then I saw them. Two more figures emerging from the pines. A woman in her 20s and a little girl, no older than 6. All three wore identical beige shirts and slacks, cheap flip-flops. The girl was crying, tears streaking her face. "Please, sir," she sobbed. "We just want to go home." My stomach churned. This wasn't some lost hiker. This was something else. "Where'd you come from?" I asked. "The facility," the woman said, her voice hollow. "They're keeping us there." I glanced at my phone. Bruce should have been here by now. Then a gurgling sound cut through the air, followed by a scream. The little girl collapsed, seizing, her eyes rolling back. The woman shoved a stick in the girl's mouth to stop her from biting her tongue. "She's going into shock," the man yelled. "Do you have a first aid kit?" I did in the ATV. I hesitated, radioed Bruce again. No answer. The girl's convulsions were getting worse. I couldn't wait. I grabbed the first aid kit and the bolt cutters from the garage. They were heavy, etched with the same strange scribbles as the fence. I cut through the fence, each snip echoing like a gunshot in the quiet forest. The last link gave way, and a section of the fence collapsed. Then, a whoosh like all the air was sucked out of the world. A shockwave hit me, knocking me flat. My vision blurred, my head spun. In those flickering moments, I saw the family rush through the gap. "We're forever in your debt," the man said. Then more figures, dozens of them, pale, long-limbed, with fingers like scythes, pouring through the opening that I blacked out. When I woke, it was morning. I was lying in the dirt, the fence gaping open, pushed outward like something massive had forced its way through. My ATV was dead, battery drained, gas gone. I radioed Bruce. No response. I walked back to the lodge, my mind racing. Who were those people? What was the facility? Was I hallucinating from the chemicals? The lodge was a nightmare. The front door hung open, windows shattered, their iron bars bent like straw. The air reeked of decay, flies buzzing. Inside, it was a slaughterhouse, furniture torn, glass smashed, blood everywhere. And in the center, Bruce. His body was ripped apart, limbs severed, chest cavity hollowed out. His face was frozen in a scream, eyes wide with terror. I gagged, stumbling back. Then I saw it. A blood-stained document clutched in Bruce's rigor-stiffened hand. I pried it free with pliers from the tool shed. What I read made my blood run cold. There was no train crash. It was a cover story to quarantine McNeely Pines. The EPA teams weren't testing soil. They were military scientists running a secret facility deep in the forest. The document had photos. Men, Women, children in barren cells, emaciated, heads shaved. Pages detailed experiments, neurotoxins, watching subjects go blind, lose their teeth, die in agony. I found a shredder in the corner, surrounded by ribbons of destroyed documents. Bruce had been covering it up, destroying evidence. But this one report, the one he died holding, was all that remained. I fled the lodge, drove all night to this motel. I photographed every page, uploaded them to the cloud. If they come for me, the truth will survive. The last pages of the report were the worst. The scientists had moved beyond chemicals to something older, darker. An ancient Sumerian tablet, etched with the same scribbles as the fence and bolt cutters. They'd performed a blood ritual on a subject, a man in his 40s. His photo was there, the same man who'd begged me to free him. They drained his blood into a basin, and an hour later, something rose from it. Tall, gaunt, impossibly strong, with skin like a shark's hide. That I'm staring at those photos now, debating whether to send them to the press. If I do, the world will know what happened at McNeely Pines. But those things I let out, they're loose now. They'll find civilization, and God help whoever crosses their path. I keep seeing that family, the man, the woman, the little girl with her homemade bracelet, a string with buttons. I thought I was saving them. But as I drove away, I saw one in its true form. 10 feet tall, hairless, with dagger-like teeth. It smiled at me, waved, that bracelet still hanging from its wrist. I don't know if I saved a family or unleashed a nightmare. Maybe both. All I know is I can't stay here long. They'll come for me, the scientists, the government, or worse, the things I set free. If you're listening, remember this. Sometimes the kindest choice is the cruelest mistake.